So I'm thinking of coming up with a prop firm where it's a trend firm, trend house, house of trend prop firm, and you're only allowed to join the firm of prop traders if you abide by the rules of the 34 period moving average. Here we trade a linear weighted one because it's more like a trend line. It's about it hugs the price. So it's 34, which is very socially acceptable. It doesn't lean either way. It's not trying to cut. It's not trying to cut them off. It's not trying to add anything down there. This is as simple as it gets. If you must trade the 34 period moving average trend, which Bill Williams chose 34 simple. He sets his MACD to 34 because he feels like this is the balance between smooth, and it's also a Fibonacci number. I built some trading systems that I thought would be good, and they consisted of a Fibonacci just so that I didn't have to choose. I chose a Fibonacci sequence for my moving average, so it reduced the amount of choices. To me, that's the only point of it. So the golden ratio is better than the slightly golden ratio, or the 80% golden ratio. It's not pure golden ratio. And I get that people want to embrace the golden ratio as opposed to go against the gold, right? It's at 2,700. You don't want to sell that, although it sold off like a bitch right after Trump took down the house of cards that these morons have constructed in their fucking fantasy mind. I like that Mercedes electric car just bursting into flames in New Jersey or somewhere in New York, watching that fucker just burst into flames. Man, it doesn't get much better than that. But yeah, feel free to get the golf cart tuned up, but I'm just going to stick to my dual exhaust American car. I'm trying to cut the ozone open so I can escape if I need to. The ozone's keeping us down. It's repressing us. I haven't heard about the acid rain lately. I'm waiting for that to come back. Of course, a lot of the kids will probably go out there with their tongues thinking they're going to get high. They think it's LSD. It says acid rain, so I went out and slept in it. So this prop firm, we screen our people to see if they can even tolerate this moving average shit, because they're going to be sitting on their hands for a while, waiting for the setup. And we've had a problem with that. Some of the traders flip out. They quit. They can't stand it. They're like, holy fuck. Why didn't you just trade that fucking wick over there? No, son. You're in the house of moving average. And it says, right, if you read the guidelines, like the user agreement, YouTube's, what is that? Community standards. Well, here we call prop standards. And, also you have to do a non-disclosure agreement that you won't give away the secret sauce here, which is, this kind of too simple for some people, so maybe you do have to keep it guarded. But you just, how do you know when you should take a trade? Well, for the beginner goobers, the people we don't want to overtrade, and we don't want them to, they're still going to have, with this system, you're still going to have like, I'm going to risk 100 to make 200 pips. I'm going to risk 150 pips to make 250. I risk 250 to make 250. Risk 350 to make 600. You have to have, if you're literally going to do this system, which at the end of the day, you pull the trigger, okay? With multiple targets. You need multiple targets because you just don't know if you're only going to make 100 pips or you're going to make 300 pips if you let your profits run on those tickets till that target's hit. But it's just a pip target. It can't be a Fibonacci target in this system. You have to decide how much you're going to risk. And you may miss out on 1,000 pips because you don't have 1,000 pip target on that ticket. Now, if you go with the strict rule that at the end of each day you pull the trigger on 20 tickets of various targets, and just let it go, maybe. Well, however it goes, right? If you don't get taken out of your profit, maybe you're gonna have risk. By the way, you have risk about 100 to make 50 pips on some of these tickets because you're never gonna see your 50 pips if you don't give the market at least 100 pips of room on some of the tickets. But this is not all the tickets. Otherwise, you are going to have a problem maintaining how much money you're losing. Right? If you say you're going to risk $1,000 a week, then if it literally goes against you now on this system, I can't imagine that because well, it's too simple. And of course, if you decide that it is a dollar risk, and I think it should be because nobody knows the extension of some of these waves. Now, an Elliott wave, they're able to weasel out of things not turning after 5 price pulses because people get it in their mind that they can see the Elliott wave. Well, if you can see it, it should be here on the closing prices. So I have a closing white line up and down zigzags, and I've got the 34, the smooth line. I guess I didn't mention that. I thought everybody knew. But closing prices, and the black thing is the wick, and the big black lines is 100 pips on the horizontal lines. So that's the ruler, is how many pips are we trying to make. Now, some of these trades look like they made about 300 or 400 pips with a 100 pip stop, but that trade's not always available. So starting on the left side, as soon as you get into the prop firm, we're going to take you through this chart, and then you have to memorize the chart and recite it. No, I'm just kidding. No, we just make you, now for the beginners, there's only going to be, you have to wait for it to cross the price. Closing price has to cross above or below the moving average. This is also part of cloud trading. So if you're a cloud trader, this should be very obvious, and it's just too simple, right? It's too stupid. Let's mark off the trades here. Where do we get in? When the market goes, when the price closes above the moving average. And what's the second rule is we only buy down days if we are above the moving average. That is literally the whole trading system in a nutshell. So instance, on the left side, starting off here, now you do have to buy, I think this day, I can't tell if that's a day, but you have to buy that day and that day if you're really going to buy down days. So you'd be in 2 contracts here. You would have got stopped out of this one, possibly. I'm just going to say it's halfway there. If you would have bought there with a 100 pip stop, they wiped you out. You lost $10. And you have to come in now with you're going to have to buy here with another 100 pip stop to make maybe in more than one ticket, right? You're going to buy 20 tickets. Did I mention that? If you have a range of targets from 500 to 100 pips, that's going to be, in 50 pip increments allows you, that's going to be 10 tickets, right? Now those would be your great ratios, nice rate of return. The other 10 tickets have to be, if you're really going to strictly buy at the market, you're going to have to put a 150 pip stop on some of that shit to make 50, because what you really want to do is trade on limits. But I'm saying if you literally are going to wait to the end of the day to pull the trigger, what it's going to look like, So that's what matters. What is it going to look like if you stick with a strict system like that? And like I said, there's going to be a lot of times there's just no trade. And if you have a really strict rule, I guess there's 2 rules I'd have to put on top of this. So all the trades I'm going to mark off here, and I'm just going to use the turning point. We'll assume that you are buying as it's dropping. This is going to be the most difficult thing, is buying as it's going down but you know the 34 trend, 34 linear weighted moving average trend is up, and you accept that. Like, you know that there's other trades, right? You could be selling into it. You could be a just an angry contrarian. Okay, I guess I had to put myself in that one, angry contrarian. So yeah, I'm a proud member of the angry contrarian camp. And so the trades that you would have here, and of course now this, you're never going to see the 500 pip target on some of these trades, although it's going up beautifully, and you'd say, man, that's a fucking great place to. You could just buy here, and yeah, maybe this one ticket. Are you really going to hang on till that? Okay, so you cashed out everything, but there's no way to board the daily train because it never pulls back. So these 2 days that you bought here, that's good, but if you bought, you're in 40K, right? You didn't get stopped out of some of these because you did buy with the 100 pip stop at the end of the day. Because you're like, dude, that could drop another 100 pips. No shit, in this currency, it really could. So this might be rough riding, tough sledding here. You get in here, say you got $1,000 in the account. Okay, well, you just lost $300, the whole thing, right? Because you lost, you're to 40K, and even your 200 pip stop, trying to make 100 off a 200 pip stop, that one got taken out. It says $20, go bye bye. Next ticket, and as that's going up, you're like, fuck, I can't. There's nothing I can do about that. The rule says I can only buy pullbacks, only down days against the moving average. So this is why it's difficult if you're looking at all the other trades that are possibly out there. Like, you could be building a short position the whole time this is going up. And as soon as it crosses over, and all the trend traders are like, wow, man, it just broke. Like, this is a big deal. It's filling this void here. And then all the trend traders jump on the short train here because, it crossed over. It fits all the things this did, right? It's the ultimate entry, especially with trend traders, right? So everybody knows that one. That's a classic, right? Like, who doesn't? And it's textbook until stuff like this happens where the market slows down. Even though the criteria, the rules do make sense here. You're going to buy here. It's the only chance to get on this thing, right? You're only going to make 200 pips on this trade, right? Only 200 pips, so not really a great trade. So that's not the best trade. And you may say, wow, where's that 500 pip move again? Like, you're thinking it's going to go like this or something, right? You feel like it is because, it's all the criteria. But you just have to slug along here and keep buying, and your targets end up being, but you're not doing bad until here. You buy this pullback. If you would really buy every pullback, you buy this one thinking, man, this thing's really going to rip. So here's where you get crushed. But your 300 pips stop survives here, and maybe you make money on that. But it's tough to buy. It's tough to buy into it as it's tanking. Now here, technically, it closed below it, so you're like, oh man, the next rally selling. I guess you'd be right in a sense, but you'd kind of be breaking the. You wouldn't be selling this because I guess if you take this other criteria into consideration, is this line going up? And maybe your criteria to become a seller is as soon as it starts to point down, you're allowed to take any rallies in the history. We allow this in the intermediate trader. So really, if you have the crudest criteria in the world, this is what you tell a robot, and a robot will inevitably blow up because if he takes this trade and he's like, oh, I'm only in a 40K and my targets are here, he's like, holy shit! Now this is where in that robot. Like, who can say the extension on this is going to be so insane? Certainly, the structured trader would say anything below here, God, I'm going to load the wagon. And certainly they did, right? Big reversal actually comes back underneath this stuff. So there's a the structured traders are going to look at it like that. the the people that are going to just say, well, I'm going to just go with the computer's going to do the moving average for me. And dude, there's people making money doing this. I did a video about this, and some guy emailed me like 5 years ago and says, "Well, I did that thing you're talking about. And, yeah, it makes money. Yeah, because you are really a trend trader. You know, you're waiting for the crossover, and then you're like, okay, it's safe to go in. You know, and this is how Ikamushu people make money. But I don't have the patience. I know I can't do it. I like trade reversals because I hate waiting for the setup. And so there's always some kind of psycho reversal going on. There's always some kind of, oh no, we don't like that anymore, right? Like first we like to tax you to death until people kind of get pissed off about that, and they're like, wait a minute, you're kind of regulating me out of existence. I remember a commercial about 8 years ago. I'd see it on YouTube because I was watching the commercials. I kind of forced you to watch those commercials. They put toothpicks in your eyeballs and shit. And it was some guy in Britain going and making his coffee in the morning, and they had like this like template running, this transparency of what it cost him for each fucking item. He gets in the car, they got the car tax, they open the door tax. This is Britain, you know, where people are so fucking repressed. Oh, we caught you watching TV without a license. You need a license to watch TV? Yeah, free speech ain't free. So yeah, you know. Oof. But the tolerance level of these Brits, right? I mean, God, they can handle any kind of punishment. If they would have sent them to the camps, they'd be like, this is nothing. We're used to punishment. That's why I guess they didn't understand Monty Python. I guess you have to be British to really. I guess it was that bad, right? I guess it could be that bad here. Thank God we just missed a bullet, literally, and we fucking pulled up the front of the plane just before these ass clowns that can't manage their own checkbook, or they are managing their checkbook. You know, you're trying to get out of the grocery store, and somebody's up at the front, like, can I reconcile my checkbook while you, Sonny, can you put those in the bag? Can I reconcile? No, you can't. You can't. Please don't stop. You're killing us. No, really, you're killing us. Stop. No, really, stop. But it goes on and on. What are you going to do, right? Everybody's anxious. Boy, the dollar, Bitcoin. But yeah, let me just go through this chart. Now you can see the fallacy of, it looks so good on paper. And here's where it's going to go terribly wrong is shit like this. Right, crosses over. The first rally I sell, even the moving average is turned over here, right? So this is and you're saying, well, it could come down here, it could retest here. Let's go after this fucking area, right? But no, I'm gonna put a 55 period moving average. If you do that, you add another filter, and you're gonna end up like no nonsense. You're just gonna blow your brains out. We tweaked that moving average. He had this video. You should see it. It's like fucking. I was going to do a video about it. It's just painful. The whole thing. He starts off with this. Everything's typed. Like some Orwellian fucking. You ever seen that thing out of the Orwell 84 movie where there's a screen and everything's typed up there? Like everything's fucking closed caption. In case you're totally fucking lost, you're deaf. And what's with these fucking things? Like, you call somewhere, they go, say or speak, and then I hit say yes or no. So I hit 1, right? It's supposed to be yes. Fucking thing doesn't respond. And it hangs up on me. Now, I think there's something wrong there, because what if you're fucking blind? And you're calling up your friendly whatever fuck, and they're, say yes or no. No, what the fuck am I? I'm telling you, dude, I cringe. I cringe when I hear that shit. I'm like, why am I cringing? I don't know. What's wrong with me? You can't accept what we say here at Prop House 34. Oof. Stalag 13. It's a whole new Yeah, Stalag 34, House of Fibonacci. And I can have an Ikamushu. Like, if this is successful, this prop house, I have Ikamushu. You have to fucking learn what a Tenkanashi is. Oh, I thought that was a sushi dish. No, that's fucking trading system, dude. And the harmonic. How's that guy Carney doing with his harmonic indicator? It projects a trend line in the future. Wow, I bet you've spent some time. I got one of those. You should see it. It fucking throws trend lines on the late. It projects into the future a trend line. Wow, gee. And then, it's like guys calling for the end of the world. Yeah, we'll have to change our projections. I thought it was going to blow up in 2000. Remember year 2000? All the computers were going to lock. Turns out there was a tippy tip top tack of the NASDAQ. Wasn't that funny? That was the tip top of the NASDAQ. Can you believe it? I can't. I can't fucking believe it, dude. It's like, cut it out. I'm sick of winning. So I got targets like on the euro here of like 100. That's my biggest target. But really, 66, you got to love that. It's one number from the devil's number. Okay, let me go back to this 34, prop house 34. Yeah, I don't know. Here's where, you would say, but dude, man, bro, look at this trade. Tell me about this one. All the criteria, 57 no-nonsense analysts have decided that this has all the earmarks of a fucking trend trade. Like the most glorious trend trade. People do a book like that. And some guy will take this trade and go, holy shit. Fucking made 1,000 pips. About 1,500 pips. Yeah, I just waited for the setup, dude. How long did you wait? Oh, I don't know. About a year. I took this one over here, though. So this is the only trades from the seller's standpoint. Sell that one. Never look back, right? But you really should sell this. You should sell that. You should sell that. You should sell that. You should sell that, right? Until you sell this one and you're like, oof. So my approach is, I have no patience to trend trade this shit. So if I'm not gonna wait for this fucking setup. That's gooberdom. That's the non-elite. Here's a top become a bottom with a fucking moving air. This guy's like, I'm sure you've seen these videos about these. Oh, you wait for that setup, dude. Really? You're gonna wait for that fucking setup? I guess if you've never traded, you should wait for that setup. You won't blow up your account. If you talk to the guys in the no nonsense club, they're like, we don't allow that kind of talk around here. Reversals? No nonsense says you won't catch him trading reversal. That's like underage porn. He won't allow that. I can only say that word once every hour. What is with these people doing videos where they go, he's unalived? Are they sending emails to these people going, you said KILL? You said the K word. Where are we going with that shit? They painted themselves into the corner. These people have painted themselves into a corner. There was a guy once, I did a video on him. He has an indicator called PAT, Pat. I made so much fun of this thing, dude. This guy came down on me like a ton of bricks. He said, one of my students notified me of your absolutely insulting video about my PAT system, which is fucking amazing. And I'm like, holy shit. I think I did a video about that. And said, oh, really? And then he took down his comment or something. Also took down that fucking Jason over it. The guy, what is this guy? I just want to slap these people. I have no fucking balls. You're like one of these politicians like, yeah, well, you scratch your nuts and I'll scratch mine. Um, what is that stuff? It's so incestuous. It's worse than worse. It's the worstest. Let's face it. But anyways, getting back to this chart here. So you're going to tell me that you waited because you're kind of bearish person. I get it. Here's a great setup. Right, like if your criteria is I'm waiting for it to get close to the moving average, I get it, dude. That is a reversal. So in RSI, that's a reversal. It's more oversold at a higher price, right? It's more oversold because it's right here. This is a beautiful top become a bottom after that. Now, people will say that, well, everybody's doing that trade. That's what makes that trade happen, self-fulfilling prophecy, because it fits that criteria. Well, not really, because this one fits it too. I don't know. I see this stuff, and it just all jumps out to me. All these different criteria, and here's one that's like, oh, look at this criteria. You could have just put a buy limit here, or you could have just bought this down day into that, because it's just going up. And here, this was another buy you had, but then I started to say, well, what if I bought like below this, and what if I bought below that, and like this is a great trade, very quick and dirty money, big move too, and this one too, but once it cuts into this thing, I'm saying, well, it's coming back because we've filled this void, and now it's, besides, that's a huge move. After the market fills this hole, doesn't quite make it to here. This is plenty. There is no trend trade there for anybody, really. Well, I mean, if you're going to follow the trend criteria, that is not a good trend. That's not a good trade. And without changing this from 34, this is the discipline. You don't want to go to a 55 and say, well, I'm only going to take this trade and this trade, which you would, and maybe waiting for some Fibonacci pullback bullshit, which is just an excuse to put a trade on, for God's sakes. I mean, can you imagine, like, this is, where do you put a fib fucking, I just can't imagine that. Because if you're going to say, well, I'll wait for 618, look at this fucking move. Jesus, what the hell is that? It's no 618. If you're going to measure from here to here, where are you measuring from, by the way? Like, if you're measuring from here to here, that's forget it. Like, you buy the 618, you put your stop in, holy shit, bye-bye on that one. You gotta have, like, the market is so deep, and once it rips, it doesn't look at these moving averages. Granted, any fucking relief, you'd have to sell here, though. You got to sell here. These are rallies in a downtrend with a moving average pointing down, but then they crush you, but you got to be able to take this trade once more time. So you got to get punched in the face. This is like how you get reelected. They try to send you to jail. This is like 50 counts on bullshit. But if you do like 40K at the end of each day, 20K at the end of each day, you got to stick with the program, because if you build that short position here, you will be rewarded, because this fucking comes all the way down 500 pips. So you got to be pretty fucking, you got to have a lot of tickets running, right? Is there any other way to do it? Right? Good luck. So there's not, and they just have to have fucking insane ass balls. You just got to be fucking heavy in. And I got 14 pip targets here, dude. Right? You just have to. Sure, you can make 100 pips, you can make 50 pips, but you don't know that. Every day is different. Every day is a Rorschach test. But yeah, sure. Daily chart here, and this is, like I said, I would show this to No Nonsense, but I just don't think he'd be like, dude, can't you tweak it? No, you can't. You can't. If you tweak it, what you should do is worry about your fucking targets, dude. And by the way, what is his fucking target? He'll say shit like, Well, on the exit thing on this indicator, I don't know. I know. It's going to be take my 50, my 150, my 200, my 250. You take it all. But yeah, maybe my limit's 500 pips with a 100 pip stop. Good fucking ratio, right? I'm buying one of those. The next one's going to be 75 pips stop to make 150 pips, right? You have to come up with the only way to do this, end of the day shit, is to have a 40 pack of diversified fucking targets and ratios. Bad ratios, risk 2 to make 1, risk 1 to make 1. People talk about, I got to break even. Like, you're in one ticket for break even at 2% of your account? Think about that. Oh, well, I got 100 pips stop to make 100 pips. Yeah, that might be okay, but you're not going to, you just put one fucking contract on at 2% of your whole account on one fucking decision? No, I don't think so. Like, if I own a restaurant, I don't have one fucking customer that's going to buy a $1,000 meal for lunch. On what fucking planet? I almost think that, and I said this a long time ago, I almost think that these fucking trading courses are all libtards. People can't fucking have a fucking brain of reality. And it's easy to fall into the trap of, well, can I just put an indicator? Yeah, you can. You can totally filter it down so that you're only going to trade 20% of the time, and you make a lot of money. You're not going to blow up the account. You're like, well, you might get frustrated, but if you stick with it, why not just build a robot? Well, I suppose you could end of the day, but honestly, you should be able to. You should have a little bit more view of it than. Well, I guess you're not going to take the trade. Here's a marching. This is a funny stair step here. Classic. It reminds me of. I think it's Wells Wilder, Tunnel Through the Air book. Which when I saw it, I thought, wow, this guy, he dropped acid. There's no way around it. Something's wrong. He dropped too much acid one day. But it was this tunnel. It was like this. It was like this area through the air. And then the market just kept ripping. And I think the essence of the book was, yeah, you should be getting in here. It's a tunnel to the next release point. Anyways, that's my view of it. I kind of just looked at it and somebody did a book review in Stocks and Commodities magazine. This is like a $5 magazine with 39.5 pages. I used to buy that all the time at the bookstore. And had great artwork, for like a train crash, like the market's going over a cliff. And that stuff was definitely entertaining, I must say. But then when it came down to it, I was like, I can't fucking take that trade. I used to trade commodities. I'm like, dude, I don't trust this fucking moving average. Like, I didn't have to back test it. I go, well, as soon as you put the trade on, when I was shitting my pants back then because it was like, good God, dude. I had to put like a $300 stop on one ticket. I'm like, I got to be that right. And I'm telling you what, I need like $1,500 in the account just for this one trade. I'm like, well, that's fucked. So the Forex to me is a little bit easier because I can trade on limits. So I'm just showing you this end of day trading, I guess you call it EOD trading system. And yeah, you could do it, but you're going to get killed too. You're going to get killed sometimes because the volatility, that's the problem. Market's viciously ripping up and down. Now what? And sitting on your hands. It would be a problem, I think, for a beginner trader, honestly. But if you've ever traded and you like the trading, the excitement of it, and let's not deny it's fun. So this thing that you're going to trade, I guess this is another thing I studied that I think is total bullshit. Oh, well, just trade without emotion. Nah, you just can't, dude. Um, I guess I'm using it to just, I guess it's something to do. So I can't not do it. So I'm going to do it. And the filter is simple. For my system, it's like if it's tanking, I'm looking for a place to buy. If it's going up, I'm looking for a place to sell. But it's a place to put a crop of limits, typically that expire in a certain amount of time, so that, because I'm reversal trading it, and I'm trend trading it if I'm, say the market's pulling back, I can still be trend trading it. But I'm range trading it in the end, because in the end, even if you enter any of these things, you got to take your 50 or 100 pips or you just won't survive it. So even if you get into these ideal looking pullbacks here, and then if you take, let's say if you take this one here and you put in a 50 pip stop and you didn't take your 200 pips or your 100 pips, it comes back. Sure, you're going to buy here, you're going to buy here, but now you're getting whipsawed, you're getting chopped up, and there's people that are selling into that. And like, so if you can sell and buy and sell, you're really not a trend trader. Now you're a range trader. If you say, well, I can see these fucking opportunities, like this is making new high. It's just crazy, crazy up, I sell, I scalp, I sell, I scalp it, I sell. Even here's a great sell, but you're not allowed to take that trade. You're only allowed to buy these, buy on the dip. That's what they say, buy on the dip. Yeah, how big is this dip? And here, so here you'd have three long. You should buy these three. It's going to take you fucking 2 weeks to get into this thing. You're building a position, or it's very difficult. For me, it would be impossible. But if I'm day trading it, like at the end of the day, I'm like, holy shit, look at this thing down here. Now if I buy, and I'm buying this, it's totally not a buy until it gets up here. Now who in the fuck is, like, who are these people? Who's waiting for that? No, dude, I'm buying this shit. I'm buying this. I'm buying this. I'm buying this. I'm buying that. I'm buying this for that. And I'm not a good seller, so I'm always looking for a buy. I wouldn't sell this. I should. That's ridiculous. And just from a standpoint of it's ripping north, so the sells are obvious if you're a seller. Sell this, you sell this. This is where you make a ton of money. You sold. Oh, I sold that. Now you gotta have the 300 pip stop in there to make 50 to make 100. Because the probability of you making that 100 with a 300 pip stop is pretty fucking good. Now here's where you get burned, because at the end of the day, they're gonna take you out of those tight stops that are looking to make. Even if you have a diversified 40 pack of tickets there, or 50 or 100. Now this is where you gotta have 100 tickets now. And that's what happens. Now you've got 5 restaurants with scantily clad waitresses. I think you need one of those too. Depends on the part of town you're in. Free drugs in the back room. A big hookah with a big chunk of hash in there or something. Hippie friendly. Yeah, the war is over. The war on your fucking mind. Are you a boy or a girl? I don't know. I gotta check. Let me check. I should have. You know what? I think this whole time I've been on the wrong team. I could switch teams maybe. Maybe I could do it so that I can switch teams. Just put a trap door there. Some kind of magnet attached genitalia. Swap out. Yeah, just tonight I feel a little bit, feeling a little. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that happens. I think I'll trend trade tonight. I'm going to act up. We be trend trading. No, it's tough. I'm going to tell you what, even trend traders. Doesn't that guy have that song that was Ed Sequoia or some guy? He plays a fucking banjo, the trend trader guy with the banjo. Look up trend trader banjo player. And this is the song they sing to pacify themselves. You know, I prefer porn, but they got this song they play, and it's like yoki doke, we don't know, we're just gonna get stopped out. And I get it, right? You kind of have to soothe these because I met a lot of trend traders. So we'd be on these streams, you know, we'd be on the Skype or something. This is about 8 years ago, I think. So it's kind of a blur, but and there was a guy on there, older guy. Guy's like it was like he was like 65, 70 or something. Oil trader from the floors of Chicago, and he was like, yeah. He said he lost a ton of money once. I mean, like he lost like I want to say it was 40 grand or it was 100 grand or something or 140 grand, something crazy. And we're like, wow. But he said he made it back. And he could be in these trades, you know, he'd be in trade for 2 fucking years. So his big thing in Forex was to trade New Zealand versus Australia. That was it, man. And I brought up the chart, and I looked back about 20 years of data there, or 10 years at least. And I'm like, this thing's range trading. He's like, yeah, it's great range trade. Every time it gets up here, I sell. Every time, these are cycles. This is a range that's like about a 10-year sideways range, and literally like 500 pips up, 500 pips down, something like that. And just like it just gets to the edge and it goes back. It never pierces this range. And I said, well, aren't you afraid? Aren't you concerned about it breaching this fucking range? He's like, no. I should bring it up right now. Australia versus New Zealand. You gotta see this shit. It's like a tug of war. It never ends. Here, let me bring it up. I'll hunt it down here. Show all. You gotta dig for it. It's a cross rate. I think it's Australia versus New Zealand. Which way is it? It's or maybe New Zealand versus Australia. I can't remember who gets the first. I think Australia gets the first booking. Oh fuck. Sorry, I just don't use the. I don't trade that shit. So here it is. It's all by itself. Yeah, you gotta see this chart, dude. It's fucking ridiculous. Maybe it is still ranging. So here's like a monthly chart. Let me zoom out. Let me see if I can find that area. Yeah, so it was about. Let me see now. I gotta throw up this. I'll use the template, the moving average template. 34 linear weighted moving average. So let me zoom out. I get the right time frame here. So I would say it was about, yeah, back here. So he was referencing this area, and it just kind of came back to me here. I just remembered this for some reason. So, you know, let's see, 2016. Okay, Trump's in office. God, was it like back then? It must have been this trough here, this whole area here. So if you looked at this data and you looked back, it really was not going anywhere. I'll give you that. It was going sideways, for sure, absolutely. So he was right about that, you know. And I was like, yeah, that's a good trade, right? It just keeps ranging. And then I was and here, even here, right? He was right about it. It does pierce it here. No, it wasn't back then. It was at least back here. I think like this wick or something. Now this could just crush you. And if you're in giant positions, right? It's just, this is a monthly chart. So you're waiting, you know. And maybe it was a weekly chart. The weekly chart does look noisier and rangier. If I do it weekly and zoom out. Yeah, so if you look at the weekly, And I think that's the chart he was using. He's like, yeah, this is ranging. And I just thought, man, one day it's going to break out. But it didn't really do. Actually, he was pretty right about that. It did get quiet over here, though. And then it did kind of try to break out. But yeah, look how this thing's just stuck. And what happened here? Did Australia just take over New Zealand and they just never got up off the ground again? Look at this crazy shit. I can't believe it. These markets are just... And the daily... I never look at this currency, but I'm curious to look at the daily now. Oof. Yeah, let's use our 34. See here, you're just gonna get your ass kicked. The yen's crazy, but the yen's better off than this, isn't it? In a sense. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I guess there's a couple sweet spots, and as you cherry pick this thing, though, see, this is the problem with this shit. Are you waiting for this setup? Really? Okay, but then you sell. Here's when you get killed. You sell this one, and it goes rip your face off. Okay, but you buy here. Buy. Sell. Here it's tough, right? You sell here, I guess, but if you're waiting for this thing to stay down... But now you're just a range trader, right? Because look at all this bullshit. This is pretty tough. You're buying this, and then woof. Here's your only sell. Here's your buy. Like, see, you buy here, and you're like, oof, this, you're going to get whipsawed. Pretty tough. But that's the problem with these people that live next to it. You know, New Zealand, Australia, really? It's like euro versus pound, really? There's nothing there to chew on. Now, all the yen pairs, that's why I trade the euro. It's just a tight spread. And I trade the yen, you know, you have to be ready for the ride of your life, you know. I would trade the 1 hour chart with the 34 moving average myself if I had to. Like, you put a gun to my head and said, you got to trade this 34. But you got to be awake for this trade, you know. I'm going to buy, actually, just if it's down, 4 hours down, I'm buying. So I decided that I'm just going to trade, like, I'm going to buy in here. At the market, on limits, I'm going to say, oh, sure, it's going up, but I'm not really buying because of the moving average. I'm buying because I know it went up. Most moving averages say it's going up. It went up on one day, and these 3 sessions, you could just trade the traps in the sessions. So I'd rather be a trap trader and put buy limits in this 20 pip window and pick up this and just make my 20 pips to here, and maybe we go up here. I did a video on this recently, and it was a 15-minute chart, but on this 1 hour chart, you know, you're selling up here at these highs, and you're like, oh man, you know, this isn't an uptrend. Like, I really should be buying this. And look how much money you make coming back off the top. Now that's a reversal trade. There's no way around it. You know, come on. So I don't use the moving average because I'm never going to follow that rule. That's why I own the prop firm, is to torture people. So, you know, you see these crime videos where they find this serial killer, or they find somebody who just likes to stalk people, right? You know, the people that want to make your life a living hell, right? Just out to get you. It does happen that people are out to get us. It feels like we're in a trade, you know. And even if you're not using it, say you're using moving average, say you're not, market goes against you. You're like, fuck, dude. Fuck. All right, let me just think about this. So I'm not going to wait for the end of the day. I'll zoom into the 4 hour chart. This is going to be a low frequency system. Now here it kind of makes sense. You could trade the this 34 moving average if you just say only buy if that's going up. But you have to have more rules than just, oh, I'm going to buy all the pullbacks above the 34. You got to say, no, I'm really going to sell. I'm going to buy a lot and I'm going to sell a lot. If we are in a situation like this where it comes to the moving average, people say, why don't you just wait for these setups? These are amazing, right? Comes right up in there. Sell if it comes up into this moving average. It's crossed over. It's coming. It's like, this is beautiful, right? Yeah, it is for this trade. But the whole time this is going sideways. This would be wave 4 in Elliott wave, maybe. Consolidation. Some people think that the market makers are chopping up the trend traders here. No, it's just like there's nothing really going on. There's no news. I'll bet this is a news event here. I almost guarantee you that's a news event, and this is a news event. As soon as you get under the floor, notice how this is a feeding frenzy here. As soon as you get above the ceiling, wow. And look at this one. In a 50 pip window, you're going to make this many pips? No nonsense could never take that trade. He would be, I guarantee you, he would be trying to fine tune. So if you watch No Nonsense, which if you can do that, man, you should be able to trade. Not from the information, but just from the sheer torture. He'll take and people have done this with MACD. What do you think the fuck that is, right? It's moving average converted. They put a moving average on top of two moving averages, or the difference between two moving averages. So you really got four, kind of four in a sense. You got a signal line to smooth it out. They want to keep on smoothing it out. Well, market's so noisy, we got to smooth it out, dude. That'd be if you compress. You're playing music, you compress it down to a 1 dB range. It's just white noise. Yeah, we took all the harsh edges out. Dude, that's what I like about her, she's a little rough around the edges. And people are posting these fucking avatar kind of looking, some hot chick. I know they know I like Japanese. I accidentally clicked on a Japanese chick pushing a tree stump or something. I couldn't resist. Now all I get is these suggestions. Hey, you want to see some Japanese girl track run? I'm like, are you fucking kidding? Of course. Can't believe you're even asking me this shit. So it's click. I go with. I know they're stalking. I know they know what I think, but it's like I don't care. Save me a trip to the zoo. Do they still have zoos? God, man, watching this fucking circular firing squad, there's nothing better than watching these people. They double down. But I get it. I feel like a Democrat. Are you allowed to say that? I feel like because I'm so stubborn, dude. I don't care if that market's dropping. I just keep buying. It's psychologically demanding. But I don't have a choice. I feel like I don't have a choice. I feel like I'll never be able to wait for the trend setup. I knew I couldn't do it. And that's why I've built this prop firm. Is to simply torture people. They're making money. But they'll say to me every now and then, when I walk by to collect their fees, I charge them a fee to use my OLED monitors, curved OLED monitors, 59 inches. And my mouse that's controlled by their thoughts. Like they just have a thought, they want to put on trade, mouse just pulls the trigger. I wear a helmet for that. It's electric. And they're paying $100 a day. They're making like $1,000 a day. Some guys are making $5,000 a day. But they keep asking me, when can I put on that range trade? We see these trades. We hear about them from the advanced room. So the goobers want to move up, go from beginner mode to stuff, but we hold them back. We hold them back, guys, for 2 years. They knew that. That's in the fine print. They're like, dude, really? I know that. I don't fucking. How come? When am I gonna be able to take that reversal trade? Someday, son. First, we got to make sure you can. You're doing real good though. Actually, my joke was to. I thought this would be a good idea too. Is take some guy. You can have this idea. This one's free. You have your buddy come over, right? Hey, you ever think about trading forex? And you're like, you got this dumbass system here, right? And you're like, I never thought about that. Well, here's the thing. How about I set you up with this demo account, and it says demo and everything, and you're like, dude, this is fake money, but we just want to get you good at this, And once you get good at it, we'll let you trade with real money, but you got to have a track record, and we want you to be able to turn about $5,000 into about 50 grand in about 3 months. What do you think? You think you can do that? Well, we'll see. You might actually do better than that. But just to be on the safe side, we're going to run it for 3 months, because even if you make more than that, the other qualification is it's 3 months or 50 grand, whichever comes first, I guess. No, they both have to. They both have to happen. We don't care where you're at the end. So they come over, and we don't start off right away. We let them get used to the system. We demo trade it, and we comp. So with unbeknownst to them, you've got you're running an EA on there that does copy trades. So it copy trades to a real account with like $5,000 in it. And you're telling them, listen, if you want this job, it's whatever money you can make, and they're really focusing, And they're trading on the demo account. And you're telling them, look, this is going to be real money. If you can do this, just treat this like real money. And they start trading. And they're doing pretty good, They get up to like 40 grand and stuff. They're like, yeah, you're doing good, man. You cheer them on. It's been 2 months. It's been a month and a half. You're doing good, dude. Keep going. You're almost there, dude. In fact, we just put you on salary. You're doing that good. Oh, really? Okay. And the guy's thinking, man, I wish this was real money. And you're like, it sure fuck is. Because I guarantee you. So here's what you do. I don't know if you could do this, but so after that run, after 3 months, this guy's made like maybe 20 grand with $5,000. You're like, that's sweet, dude. Now you tell him, okay, that was, it's not bad. We'll start you with like a $2,500 account, because you kind of fucked up there. You're supposed to make 50 grand, but, and then see how they do. But it's fake money now, right? Because you're like, they're going to shit their pants. If they go underwater on this trade, they're going to be like, holy shit. They freak out, And I think that's where the hard part is, because as soon as they have real money, they're like, God, that demo account was so. I did everything I was supposed to do, but I'm kind of afraid to take this trade. Like, I did lose on that demo account a couple trades, and this is real money. I think it does matter. So, and just looking at this chart, you see some of these moves just go on, like it seems like forever. And they go up and down, up and down. And if you have your eyes set on some Fibonacci target because of this projecting the next price pulse, which I guess you have to do, or what's the point, right? If it's only just to retrace the wick, you buy the plunge of the wick, and then, right, this is a high probability trade that if it goes up, it would go down. If it goes down, it goes up. How much is the difference, and how big are you in? How many tickets did you do it on? But the advanced thing is to just, for me, just lay a grid in there and walk away and say, well, if they fill me, they fill me. If they don't, they don't. Although 20% of the time, I will pull the trigger because it makes sense from the time of day standpoint or the time of the hour. It keeps going down. Every 4 hours, I buy some, right? Every 4 hours it drops, I buy at the market. But then I've got limits out in front in case it stops going down. So I'm not going to ever enter on a stop. I'm pretty much certain of that. If 80% limits, 20% at the market seems to be the best 80-20 rule. Because if the market says, oh, I think it's going to turn around this day or this 4 hours, well, you don't know that. So I limit the entries at the market. If I only buy when it's down, there'll only be that. The rest of the tickets, I got to put aside money for the limits. The market order is certainly, it's a no-brainer. It's down in 4 hours. Let's buy some. Or it's down every hour, whatever chart you're looking at. Every 15 minutes now, that's going to be a different world. And I would trade with, you're going to trade more tickets though. But you got to have tighter stops now. And tighter targets. And now you're starting to get close to the spread. And people say, well, does that work on a 5-minute chart, that trading system? Yeah, but, now your target's got to be 8, 16 pips, 14 pips, 22 pips. I'm talking about the euro. On the yen, it's going to be 25 pip target, 40 pip target on the 1 hour chart with this trading system. Or any kind of trade situation. And so holding it for 3 days, all the trades on here, you'd have to hold it for like maybe 20 hours, 10 hours, 4 days to make that big juicy pip target, just in pure pip terms. And that's how that is, And you have to know that going in. You have to accept that. And say, well, what is the frequency? How often I buy that? And yeah, so I guess you're investing when you're like an investor if you're building a position. Now the scalping and the people that scalp, and they're just really in big with a 1 pip spread. And they're taking pieces out of the market, they wait for a setup, 2 hour setup, they see a pullback, okay, they buy it, they do that trade, right? So I'm not into those trades myself, but you could do it like that because it's just too much, That's too many trades for me. So I like to step back, put my orders in the deep new lows, and then wait for every half hour, every hour, every 4 hours. If it's down on the 4 hour chart, I'm like, wow, let's buy a few here, even though this is not the bottom. It typically keeps going. And even if it is a reversal, it might go a little bit lower, and that's where the limits come in. Because now I get picked up on new prices, and there's enough, since only 20% of the trades were at the market. And might have a stops from 12 to 40 pips. If I'm really like, this is a great place to get in for a giant swing trade, I'm going to buy with the 200 pip stop to make 500 pips, but I can't put on as many tickets now. Now I got to reduce the amount of tickets. Let the limits fill. Put 8-hour limits typically. That's two 4-hour bars. And it's always making new lows. I think when it starts to make new lows like that, wow, it just keeps crushing. But there's a limit on a lot of these currencies. It's totally limited how far it can crush. Typically, the yen can go down, like you've seen it there on the chart. It can just go ripping for miles in one direction. Like, look at this move here. It's 200 pips just smashing into new territory, new prices. Insanely, you know, so without just a little baby top bottom here on the 4-hour and then just rip. It's total rip fest. Pretty amazing. Here too, accumulate right there and they just rip. And if you buy this pullback, you know, you only make this and like this gets crazy and then this triangle resolves and then so it's all over, right? This is crazy. So that's what I'm thinking. My view of the trend trading and all that nonsense. Yeah, trend trading, sure. If you have the patience for it, I don't. But you know, help yourself. You know, it's a free country all over again. So, ready to go.